sorry to interrupt. We are going to be live streaming for the first time tonight. Just wanted to give you a heads up, just in case you need to pick your nose, fix your hair, whatever it is you need to do.
Not going to affect my inappropriateness in any way.
I don't want anybody to say that you weren't fully informed.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Sounds good. All right. Good? Good. All right. We're going to get our special call meeting going at 6:36-ish. If we start roll call with Mr. Matthew.
Gavin Massengill.
Amy Cotillo.
Buck Shapiro.
Sarah Hudson.
Amber Lewis and Mike Dyson, as well as Megan Stanky, stepping in for our city attorney. He's our city attorney. So 2.01, discussion of possible action to accept a notice of retirement from Robin Ryan, city secretary. Council, you have in your packet a phenomenal letter actually from Robin. If I could, just read it so that the rest of our audience can hear the words. One of my greatest life rewards and successes has been my employment with the City of Rollingwood and the many positions in city administration for over 10 years. Mayors, council members, caring residents, and the incredible beloved staff, all have been a part of my life, and I have seen and been involved in many events and changes over the past decade. With that, it is now time for me to move in another direction in my life. This letter will serve as my notice to the city. I will be retiring from my position as the city secretary for the city of Rollingwood effective August 9, 2019. Best regards to Robin Ryan. Council, what we're asking you to do at this point is to consider taking action to accept the notice of retirement from our city secretary.
I move to accept the notice of retirement from Robin Ryan, city secretary.
Second.
Motion from Gavin and second from Amy. Any discussion, council?
I appreciate her service. I'm glad that we had the opportunity at the last council meeting to honor her beforehand and also during by the festive things that were still around for people to be reminded that that meeting was her last one.
No other comments. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries and notice is accepted. 2.02, discussion of possible action to appoint the city secretary and authorize the city administrator to make an offer of employment. I'm largely going to let our city administrator carry this conversation, but I did want to say that we had 9 applicants for this position. Amber and I reached out to, I spoke with the top 2, and I believe Amber talked to the top 3 in that regard. And the short was that one in particular, certainly my impression stood out head and shoulders above the next closest candidate. With that, Amber, do you have any thoughts you want to, or comments you want to jump in there?
Sure. Go to Ian.
So Ashley Wayman is who I would be recommending for the position of city secretary. She's currently the assistant finance director for the city of Leon Valley. She's been there for 3.5 years. She's got knowledge in code, which is great because we hopefully in the future will be converting to Encode for our utility billing and financial software. So she'll already have a knowledge of that, and we already use that in municipal court. So we think she would be a great backup possibly for Able, because right now we don't have anybody to serve in that role. But in addition to that, she's got her master's degree from Texas State and recently graduated with that. she's been a member of TCMA since she was pursuing her master's degree, which is the City Management Association of Texas. And I've made a connection with her and just been impressed with her. And I think she's really smart, hardworking. She didn't even bat an eye when I said there would be 6 monthly night meetings. She was all for it. She doesn't have any city secretary experience, but she does have experience related to records management when it comes to finances, and I feel like she has a good municipal government understanding. She wants to be a city manager someday, so I think her learning this position would be great for her resume.
So just to echo Amber, I had the opportunity to actually meet with Ms. Wayman. Beyond excited for the opportunity is how I would describe her. And from every impression that I received, beyond capable of taking on the heavy mantle that Robin left for us. I think the short is that if Amber feels fantastic and strong about Ashley joining the Rollingwood team, that weighs pretty heavily on my decision there, and I would support Amber's decision for Ashley Wayman to come in as the new city secretary.
Are you ready for a motion?
If you're ready to provide.
Okay, well, I appreciate you all both taking the time to filter through the candidates. I know that we need to fill that position relatively quickly, and so in view of that, and I know the vetting that you have done, I would move to appoint the city secretary and authorize the city administrator to make an offer of employment to Ashley Wayman.
I second.
Motion from Amy and a second from Buck. Council, do we have any additional discussion?
So I was just curious what, just looking through the information that we got, we had one candidate that actually has city secretary experience that was way down the list, and it doesn't look like that's somebody you all even talked to.
If that's is that the one from Liberty Hill?
No.
Which one is
Jackson? Bill?
does he have his degree?
No, but
Okay, that's what we asked on the.
we probably also asked for city secretary experience, right? So we're recommending somebody that doesn't have city secretary experience.
I can't remember if we required city secretary experience.
Well, to me, a bachelor's degree is clearly not a requirement when you have a city secretary that didn't have a bachelor's degree. So, who was fully capable of doing the job. I'm just curious why you didn't even consider, or why you didn't look at him any further.
I'm really impressed with Ashley. I think she's a hard worker, and that's what we need in this office. I did mention she was a college athlete, a swimmer, and maintained very good grades while she did that, which shows me she's got a good work ethic, and so and is committed to performing at a high level, and so that's why I would recommend her.
I'm also a little surprised that we had such an involved process for hiring a police chief, and this seems to have gotten a whole lot less input from
So
anybody else.
I think it was a fair point to a degree. I also wondered on the same, but the short answer is we're talking about apples and oranges. If we consider how things came about, we did not have a formal process for hiring a police chief. We did for a city secretary. What we did was quite literally follow the process that we had in the past followed that. And that was really the distinction there. It's atypical to go through the typical hiring process, the way we went about hiring the police chief. A large part of that was down to, I hate to say it, but kind of the politics that the community decided it needed discussing. That wasn't necessarily the same concern here. That's how I personally made or felt about it.
I agree, and then also, we had a whole police department that needed to be included in that decision, whereas the city secretary doesn't have a department of 8 officers to manage and be responsible to. So I feel like that also separated itself from the city secretary.
We had a process that we had used in the past for hiring a police chief. So if you're saying that we are using the same process that we used 11 years ago to hire the city secretary, not using the same process to hire the police chief, they just seemed inconsistent to me. I have no objections to Ashley Wyman. I have really very little basis to go by on any of this. It just seems like we are not being consistent in our approach.
Well, respectfully, I would argue that the process, the outline or the process this go round was really with the police chief. With the hiring of our city administrator, was the exact same process as we've just gone through with the city secretary. So it's just, again, I think it was the nature.
It wasn't exact.
Well, I don't want to get into the weeds on this, but when Max Westbrook was hired for police chief, I don't recall there being an open job posting and multiple people being allowed to apply. So I'm unsure why we're getting into a discussion of comparative hiring processes, but if we need to get into that over the last 20 years, I can give the knowledge that I have on it. I think at this point, we have a city secretary who gave us a letter and a firm end date and a very short period of time for Amber to try to get the job posted, get applicants, do interviews. We have somebody who has great education. Amber already has confidence in this person. They have finance background, which is a necessary component of a city secretary. I believe that Ashley will be able to complete city secretary training quickly based on looking at just her CV. I would expect someone like that would be able to do that. And I think it's really important to get that role filled quickly because there is a lot of administrative work that goes with that role. So I appreciate the accountability with how we're doing hiring processes, but I don't know that if we're going to get into a discussion about that, I feel like it should be on the agenda.
It's just asking about the review process because we had not had any discussion on that and wondering why the fellow with actual city secretary experience had not been considered. So.
Well, and we had considered the second one had city secretary experience and the degrees, and that was someone who we reached out to and spoke to. So we did vet somebody with
I think the short
experience.
answer is we reviewed their applications in their totality, not simply based on one aspect. Right? And when you review in the totality, there were 2 in particular that stood out and 3 that warranted conversation. So we have no further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Sorry, Sarah, is that an abstention?
All good.
Oh, sorry, my apologies. So, motion carries 4-0. Discussion and possible action to appoint the chief of police and authorize the city administrator to make an offer of employment. So,
Do we,
sorry, go ahead.
back up, we didn't get any input from the city attorney. We have put no boundaries on salary
On the
for,
offer.
for the offer. And it seems like we should have some input on that.
So with our posting, what we did was put a salary range. I think we figured it would commensurate with experience. We have had some discussions. I don't know, is this the proper forum to talk specifically about what the offer would be?
If we're giving approval for the main offer, it seems like
Making
any
offer,
boundaries.
I would assume that is this gonna come back as far as, is it budgeted, salary that's gonna be offered or accepted, is it already included in the budget? Is there a salary range that is
Right, so it's not,
specified for this job description?
sorry, yes. There was a salary range. It was specified in the posting. Any offer that would be made, perhaps we should add clarification to the motion that any offer to be made would be within, in accordance with the boundaries that were set, you know.
You can do that, or you can require that the negotiated, the offer of employment, once accepted, comes back for council approval. Or it has to be within certain parameters, if those aren't something that council is comfortable with at this point.
So I guess, council, the short answer is, would you guys like to take a look at the offer once it's accepted, before the city adopts it, I guess?
I mean, if it's in budget, then we don't have to vote on it, correct? No. I don't.
I could amend the motion to indicate that the offer needs to be within the parameters of the job posting,
Right.
the salary that's in the job posting.
It's already within our budget.
Right.
So if it's within our budget, it doesn't have to come back to us, but if they go outside of those parameters, then it has to come back to us.
Okay.
So I have
So
no
it's
doubt,
already, the parameters are already in place.
I have no doubt that our city administrator is not about to make an offer outside of the scope of what was posted. And surely we have properly budgeted for any offer that we would make. That said, if council would like to take another look at it, certainly.
I think, yeah, you're correct, it is, action.
No pressure.
You know you're gonna be a problem.
Don't you drag me down with you. 2.03, I do get it up there. That's not it. Discussion and possible action to appoint the chief of police and authorize the city administrator to make an offer of employment. Council, we did hold a town hall. We have three great candidates with varying personalities. We had two council members that had the opportunity to meet, certainly more than just the top three candidates, but certainly the top three candidates. After our town hall, Amber and I had an opportunity to sit down with Chief Papa as well as the rest of the, most of the department, and have a very candid discussion about who they felt strongly about. I don't want to speak for you guys, but I'm happy to recap that conversation as I had. The police department was very impressed with all three candidates. Their preference would be James Brady, Jason Brady, sorry, thank you, from Corpus Christi. Again, I've already messed up once today. Maybe I'll let somebody from our hiring committee give some color as to our process in the committee and how we arrived at a decision there.
Sarah,
Okay.
you're better seated because I missed the community meetings of
okay.
invitation, unfortunately.
So, we had 5 members on the committee. What do we have? Six. We didn't ever have all 6 there at the same time. We all reviewed the applications that were received, submitted our top 4 or 5 applications, and then I think Amber compiled those and picked the top 6 vote getters, and those were the 6 that we brought in for interviews. And after those were held over 2 days, and then we selected the top 3 from those 6, and then did background checks, and then brought them back in for a second follow-up interview, and then had the meet and greet after that. And based on 2 rounds of interviews, the background information, the discussion with, I spoke to all police officers as well after the meet and greet, and before we made the final selection. Input from members of the community that came, we all were confident that Jason Brady would be a good first choice, and that was who we are recommending to the council to make the offer to. So.
Sounds good. Amy, anything to add?
I just really appreciated all of the candidates and their participation in the process, and I appreciate the community coming out. It was a hard date in December, that there was a lot of travel, but I feel like if somebody was here, they probably came from what I heard. So I appreciate the involvement, and I appreciate the officers coming and participating in that part of the process as well, and giving feedback. It's all very helpful.
With regards to Jason Brady, he had his entire family up from Corpus. Fantastic family man. They thought the residents really responded to very well, as well as it was a point that was emphasized by our officers. So, with that, Amber, color to the conversation, or have we covered our bases? With that, council, if there's anyone so inclined to make a motion.
I would move to appoint Jason Brady, the chief of police, and authorize the city administrator to make an offer of employment commensurate with the job posting.
We have a motion from Amy. Do we have a second, council?
Second.
And a second from Sarah. Any additional conversation or discussion, council? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Motion passes. I look forward to having both Ashley and Jason join the Rollingwood team. Nothing else on the agenda. If we could have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Very good. We got our motion from Sarah and a second from Amy. Assuming everyone is in favor.
Aye.